Here it is. And good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Overtime Podcast. My name is Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show, joined, as always, by a good friend of mine, the man, the legend, the myth, Saguaro Sabercat basketball coach, Lucas Ramirez. Coach Ramirez, how are you, sir?
Hey, Vince. Great to be with you tonight.
It's a lot of enthusiasm. We haven't had a chance to do like an overview or a recap of your season. When we've done these, we've had other guests on that we featured. So the spotlight is going to be you tonight. Are you ready for this? Are you excited?
Oh, you know me. I love the spotlight, Vince. So this is fantastic.
Okay. All right. Well, that being said, so I wanted to talk a little bit about first of all, last week we covered our first basketball game of the spring semester here in January with our brand new team. We had a couple of crews going. We had people running all over the place. You guys hosted a really, really good Arcadia team. Before we play spoiler, obviously you didn't come away with the win. But how do you think you did?
Being honest, I didn't think we played very well at all. And the crazy thing is that you guys were there, and those that tuned in, we got it down to 4 points at one point in the second half, I believe it was, and really the 4 possession game there at the end. So the fact that we were still in the battle and had our chances when, again, quite frankly, I just didn't think we played well the entire evening. Maybe someone with eyes looking in from the outside, could probably tell me, oh, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. But, we just got out-toughed. They killed us on the glass. We struggled to rebound the basketball. And then, I thought offensively we weren't as efficient as we needed to be. And, we turned the ball over a lot. So I think if we cut the turnovers down and we rebounded a little bit better, we're in a better spot. I think we let them shoot like 15 free throws. Bottom line, not the officials' fault. We put them in a position to get to the free throw line, and so they took advantage of it. But they're a good team. They're super talented. They have really good freshmen. They have really good senior class, good juniors. Really good from top to bottom. Anyone who listens to me knows that I'm going to talk about how great our region is, and there's really no off nights. And it's teams like Arcadia that, make it really tough and also really fun too. Cause at the end of the day, it's fun. It's good competition, but they're a solid team, but we're looking forward to seeing them again at their place next Friday.
So we'll be covering that game as well. We'll be out at Arcadia for that game, but we've had fun in covering you the last few years because you're so transparent. You allow us into your huddle during timeouts. And you're also a really good sport, which, you took your mic off in the second half. That was a little frustrating. But in the first half, you kept that thing on. And I wanted to take our viewers and our listeners inside the huddle that maybe didn't catch the game for a couple of those key moments, just to get a feel for exactly what Coach Lucas Ramirez is like in the huddle. All right. Are you okay with this?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Here's the first one.
Everybody! Soft! Absolutely soft! Don't be afraid, guys, to catch, rip, attack, but defensively, uncontrolled.
Oh, I don't know what happened there, but you got the gist of it on that one. So what was going through your head at that moment?
If I recall correctly, I believe we missed a box out, 50-50 ball. I think one of our guys was in great position, I think, to go pursue it. They didn't. So I think that's what probably got me a little hot under the collar there. Because again, like, I think it's something that we've struggled with, and it starts with me. Like we have to find ways to be better and get these guys more prepared. So yeah, I think that was a moment where we were struggling to box out. It certainly didn't get that much better. Maybe it got a little better in the second half.
Actually, it did. It did. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next one. This was actually better, so you could tell here.
A bad scramble. We can't close out. We're not rotating.
Keep working, y'all.
Guys, it's this end. It's this end. It's not down here.
Thanks.
You got to have some life, man. Let's go. That's on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That was pretty good. That was a little better. That was, I think, a little later, I think, in the first half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could probably play that clip over and over again. Quite frankly, that's probably what most of our conversations are about in the huddle this year. It's about reminding them, hey, like, it starts on the defensive end, and there's no excuse, and people will try and create excuses, I think, for you. I think parents will create excuses for kids. They're personal trainers and agents and handlers and club coaches, and everyone will tell them how great they are and how things aren't as bad as they seem. But for us, the reoccurring theme is to make a real run at this thing this year. It's going to come down to defense. It's going to come down to being, having a little bit of toughness. And that's not a popular thing to have right now, right? And it's not even the kids' fault. It's just like, what do you see when you go online and it's highlights and scoring and, the big sexy play that you see. And, no one's really posting a great defensive possession on TikTok, to watch. So just trying to instill in them that defense wins, and the tougher team's going to win. And we've only lost 6 games this year. I mean, who am I to feel sorry for ourselves? But in each of those games, we remind them, like, a lot of this is self-induced. So it's just not boxing out consistently enough, not playing disciplined defense, for 32 minutes. We can do it in stretches. So we're always constantly trying to search to be better defensively. And I don't know. I think we're getting a little better, but it just depends on the moment.
Do you feel like your things are starting to turn for the team? You started off with a streak of no losses, and then you got into league play, and obviously you play in a really tough league, one of the toughest in the entire state. How do you feel you are right now, and how the kids are responding with everything that you're putting in front of them?
Yeah. I mean, like, we're all products of our schedule, or whatever it might be, and quite frankly, all the teams in our region had a pretty light schedule, in November and December. If you go down the list, I mean, I think I was talking with Coach Richards from Arcadia the other night pregame. Like, prior to region play starting, our region only had like a couple losses, and they were like nationally ranked teams, out of state teams, so they were really quality losses for our region. But we really, like, if we're all being honest, and maybe I'll offend some of my fellow region mates here, but each of us probably had like a couple quality wins early on in the year. But it wasn't that much fun beating up on some other teams. Like, again, It's just, we're not getting better off of that, and so we always tried to tell our guys in those moments, like, you got to fight to be disciplined. Those games are even harder, I think, than when you're getting your butt kicked, honestly. It's when you're up by 30, 40, 50 points. Like, are you still playing the right way? Are you disciplined? Are you trying to do the right things? Are you trying to play, make a play for your teammate, not for yourself? So truth be told, like, we developed a lot of bad habits. I don't know if it's necessarily bad habits, but just things were so easy for us that we didn't really face adversity until we hosted our tournament. And that was great because, we played a Beaverton team, tied at 33 at half. I think we ended up winning that game 73-43. And they were a pretty good team. I mean, not the best team in the world, but like they were better than a lot of the teams we were playing prior to that point. So I thought that was a really good like moment for us to understand, like, hey, if you lock in defensively, the rest takes care of itself. And we came out with an intensity in that second half that was really special. Then we played New Trier, who's won our tournament, God knows how many years, even going back to the Horizon years. Well-coached, disciplined, fundamental. We got down 22 points, and then we came back and took the lead at one point, and, we were a play or two away from winning that one. Then you play a really good Millard South team out of Omaha, Nebraska that next night. We lose in overtime. We have a chance to, if we get a stop, we had 8 seconds left in regulation. So if we get a stop there, that's a quality win. And then, we went to California and played really good competition, got 2 wins, 2 losses. So it was kind of a nice little mixed bag for us. And, as we entered region play, a chance to make a statement right away and beat Cactus Shadows. We were up 21 points at one point in the first half. And then, we just gave up a big run to end the second quarter and a run to start the third quarter. And that was the difference in the game right there. The Arcadia game was another good game, good battle. We had Mesquite, we beat Mesquite at their place earlier as well. Found a way to win there, didn't play a complete 32 minutes. But we decided to turn it on for the last minute and a half and, walked out of there with a win. So, you can't take anything for granted. I think we're in a good place. I always remind our guys that, you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as terrible as you think it is. I have to remind myself that probably more than I have to remind the kids. So I think we're in a good place, and everyone's going to tell me how great we are and, how good of a year we're having. And, I think it's okay. I think we're, a little bit behind schedule. I think all of our region losses we've left out there so far. Cactus Shadows and Arcadia, those 2 sting. So we're looking forward to getting those back. But when you compare us from last year to this year, we've gotten better individually. We're not as deep as we were last year. We really miss Aiden Whitaker. We really miss Quentin Sims, who moved to Ohio, or moved back to Ohio, excuse me. So, both of those athletes covered up a lot of our, I think, defensive deficiencies just because they're tenacious athletes. They compete. They don't really care about scoring. They were really big for us defensively. So now we're just learning as a group right now to how to put a complete game together. And, I told the guys tonight, like prior to the game, we're nowhere near where we need to be, and we're not to be tonight, but all we can do is try and take a step, to kind of keep moving in the right direction. And I think tonight we did.
I feel like as I watch the evolution of Lucas Ramirez as a basketball coach through the past 5 years, I've seen some changes because, you had the first year with all those seniors, and then the second year was a little bit of a dip, and then you came back the third year, and then last year, obviously, youth movement to where you are now. It's been quite the evolution. In fact, I have some video from your first year from the bench, if you don't mind, if I can run it real quick here, just a quick clip
absolutely.
of you the first year to where you are now. Okay, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, here it is. This is Lucas Ramirez, year 1 coaching at Saguaro High School, his first head coaching job.
And I think Fred
Oh, it stopped on me. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, anyway, he takes a chair and he throws it out onto the court.
No, luckily that never happened. Dude, no, it's crazy, like how fast it's gone. I mean, just, this is year 6. And I think back to that first year, I just think back to us meeting in that conference room and, talking about what this could look like. And, shoot, at that point, we weren't even sure if we were going to have a season, and
yeah, that's correct. It was scary time.
It was, and it's unbelievable that we were able to have a year, and then two, the year that we had that surpassed all expectations, including my own. I tell people all the time, I don't know how we even won as much as we did, but it was just a group of guys that really bought in, and they were about the right things, and they knew, I think, that it wasn't just going to be one guy or two guys to do it. And we had a just good collective group of seniors that were hungry and wanted to be coached, and it was fun. So yeah, it's been a good evolution, and it's really good perspective, Vince, because when there's times even like this year and like any year as a coach, like you get frustrated, you kind of get down on yourself, and you get a case of the poor me's, and you're like, oh man, like we should be winning a little more than we are, whatever it is. I think back to some of the other groups we had, and it's like, oh my God, like we're night and day, where we were at one point, because to your point, like we started out with a ton of success right away, almost the worst thing that could have happened to us. And then year two was still decent enough. We were able to win some games on the backs of Tristan Mondays and Devin Dampiers, and some really good basketball guys around them, but still successful. And that third year, I tell anyone who will listen, like that third year made me question everything. Am I the right guy? Are we still doing things the right way? But I wouldn't have changed anything, because it makes you reevaluate how we do things. Maybe you bring in some new people, get rid of some people, and that's just kind of the way it goes. And it's definitely put us in a position where we're at now to have a group of guys that really care, and they're coachable. They get invested with it, and that's all we can ask for. The rest will take care of itself.
So speaking of now, let's talk about tonight. You guys played at a special event, an invitational at Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix. So that had to be exciting. Same court that the Phoenix Suns play on. So very exciting for your guys, exciting for you. A little bit of a spotlight. You guys are playing Marcos Denise, which in essence would have been a home game for you. So you're in your home uniforms playing. And how do you think that went tonight? And while you're talking, I'm going to show a couple of pictures and things.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fun. I told the guys before, don't act too cool, for this moment. Like, it's really fun to play in the arena. And I told them, I said, let's let this be practice for us getting on a bus, going to an arena, going into a small locker room, because, the vision and the goal needs to be that in March, we're getting on a bus and we're going over to Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and you're playing in an arena environment, and that needs to be like our goal and our standard, And, I think the guys did a good job overall. We tried a lot of new things defensively and even offensively tonight. And I thought overall it was pretty good. I think our starters were pretty unselfish offensively. We got to get better defensively. We couldn't stop my mother if she was trying to, drive the lane at times. I don't know. I mean, we got to get better defensively from top to bottom, but a lot of positive contributions from guys off the bench. Our freshman, Akenna, he number 13, I think he is. He had some really good minutes off the bench. Pierce Foster, good minutes off the bench. Kingston Berry, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody down the line there, but so we had really good contributions from some really young guys who haven't gotten a lot of time this year yet. So that was really nice to see. And again, it was just a good environment, it was nice. We had our interim principal, Dr. Hirsch, was there. It was great to have her in the building. We were able to travel our athletic training team with Nikki and all the ATAs. Our choir was able to be there. Our Spirit Line program with Coach Mayo, so it was really nice to kind of bring the community to the arena. We had a nice crowd. I always love competing against Marcos. Coach Stark's a legend. He's approaching like 30 years at Marcos, almost here in a few years. Almost 40, I think, overall. So he's won a ton of games, more games than I'll probably ever coach. But I was joking with him earlier. I'm like, I don't know if I can do it as long as you did, man. But his teams are always well prepared. They play hard. They play free. So you always got to be ready to play them. So overall, I thought it went pretty good. We'll watch the film tomorrow in the morning, and we'll probably spend a lot of time talking about our defense and getting better on that side of things. But we have a whole week to prepare for Mesquite. They'll come to our place, and they'll be healthy, and they'll be or healthier than we saw them the first time. And then we get to go to a friendly environment at Arcadia, and face them for a second time. So it's a toss-up every game now moving forward, and that's the fun in it. But we got to find ways to get better quick. We really want to make a push, because I think people will look at us and they say, "Oh, you're really young." The compliment I get all the time in the handshake line when we lose is, "Oh man, you guys are so young. You're going to be so good in a few years." And that's nice, but like I tell our guys now,
It's old after a while, right?
Well, it's just motivating, hopefully, to the guys. Like, like let's go win now because we're capable of it now. And why wait? And let's win big the next 3 years, not wait for the next 2 or wait for their senior year, because we have seniors we want to do right by, Joe Miller and Justice Hines. And it's not about the youth movement. It's hey, let's get it done right now. So it's exciting. So we'll have to keep chipping away at it.
Awesome. Guys, be sure and tune into the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning at 10:30 on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona for the Saguaro Sabercat Report with Coach Lucas Ramirez. And one final thought here. This last video reminds me of you and I.
Give me a hug. Give me
You see how Vital just kind of tried to play him off, and have fun with him. But I think Bob Knight was genuinely like, stay away from me type of thing.
I think he genuinely, and I mean this all kidding aside, I think he genuinely was having an elderly moment and had no idea where he was. God rest his soul. One of the best to ever do it. But yeah, no.
That is us though, wouldn't you say?
That's you and I. I would also equate it to Kiffin and Feinbaum. There's probably a lot of comparisons we can make. But yeah, no, it's all fun, and this is fun jumping on with you right after a game. Thank goodness the outcome was what it was. Yeah, if we were to lose, I probably would have told you to lose my number, but but yeah, no, it was fun. It was a great environment for our community and for our kids, and we're grateful for every moment that comes to us that we've experienced thus far, and that will continue to happen. And let the chips fall where they may, brother.
Good stuff. Next game at home, as you said, next Tuesday night, hosting the Mesquite Wildcats. It's the Saguaro Sabercats. And on behalf of my good friend, Saguaro basketball coach Lucas Ramirez, my name is Vince Delicio. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the Overtime Podcast.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Vince.